Head coach Ron Rivera. Okay, coach, the schedule, it is officially out. We know what dates to circle. Fans are going to go for the rivalries, the division games. Players are looking at where are they playing in December. Is it Green Bay and Buffalo, which we don't have. But how is the coaching staff? How do you look at the schedule release when you first get to see it?
Well, in all honesty, it goes right to the division. You know, who are the rivalry games? When are they? Um, Also, what are our national games? Because those are going to require a different schedule. And then when's the bye? Those are always things that play into it, and you always look for those. And once you get a handle on that, now it's okay. What are our first four? Because for the most part, your first four games are going to be relatively different because you've got to prepare for those opponents without having any regular season games to really kind of work off.
You talk about the division games. Let's start there. That's where you're going to be ending the season. 5 straight division games. The last time that happened with this franchise, they actually went 6 straight, but that was back in 1970 when they only had 14 games in the season. What is your way of how you approach that part of the schedule?
Well, once we get around to it, it's going to be all about where's the standings. I mean, it's going to be really a round robin tournament is what it really turns out to be for us. And again, you know, unless you have a commanding lead over it, you know, I think the league is trying to create that competitive edge for television. Because if you really look at it, that's what's going to happen. We are the east, you know, we're on the eastern seaboard, one of the most populous areas in the country, which puts us in, you know, the top television viewership. So it's really it's going to create a lot of interest for our division for sure, and a lot of viewers. I can tell you that much.
Does that change how you maybe might think about approaching the beginning of the season at all?
No, because you know, I look at it this way: you want to go undefeated, you know, and that's just the way it is. As far as I'm concerned, that's you want to win every game you can. It's a simple mathematical equation, you know. For every game you win, that's one less you have to worry about as far as a loss. That's how simple I look at it.
You also mentioned the primetime games is something you look for, 3 this season. You know, last year you really didn't have any, minus COVID trying to create a few for you, but your team seemed to rise in those occasions. You don't have to wait long to get to that first primetime game, week 2 against the Giants on Thursday night. How do you approach that with your team? Does it change the approach to the schedule when you look at where they are Thursday to Monday, knowing that you begin the season with just 4 days before that primetime game from the last game?
Yeah, we will, Julie. We most certainly will, because a lot of stuff that you do in that first week will also be working a little bit towards the second week. We don't tell the players that, so don't let anybody see this.
Okay, nobody's going to hear that at all.
But that's really what you do. I mean, that's how you have to handle that. And what's interesting is you're right. Last year, the only real primetime game we had was the Thanksgiving game against Dallas. But because of some things, we ended up playing Pittsburgh on Monday night and then turn around and getting our last game flexed to the national stage. So it's been interesting kind of seeing how this team has developed. And like you said, Juliet, they seem to really rise to those occasions. Our 3 primetime games last year were 3 victories for us.
If you talk about the bye week, are you feeling lucky? You going to go, you know, play some dice because you got it right smack in the middle of the season, which to everybody I've asked says that's almost the perfect place for it. Is that where you would want it as well?
Yes. I mean, if you're going to get a bye, you know, you try to have it centered somewhere in the middle. The thing that I've always looked at, though, is your Thursday game is kind of a mini bye. Once you get past the game, you know, your players, you know, if you do it right, you can give your players 3 days off and really get them away from the facility, let them unwind, you know, let them go home for a little bit and relax. And I think that's kind of it. So, yeah, I'm happy it's week 9. 9, 10, or 11 would have been outstanding this year because of our Thursday game being on the second game of the week. I mean, second game of the season on Thursday.
If I'm kind of to look at this schedule too, and I say, okay, where would there be a difficult stretch? In my head, I might go with you've got the Saints, Chiefs, Packers, then you get the bye week to prepare for the Bucs. Where would you, though, say maybe the most challenging part of the schedule is?
Wow, you know, I always look at the whole schedule itself and just say it's challenging. You know, one thing that I tried to make clear last year was I tried to take the season in quarters. You worry about the first game, obviously, that you're about to play, but to me, it's every 4 games is really where you want to take a look and say, okay, how's this flow work here? Okay, now you start prepping for the next 4, after that 4th game. Now, all of a sudden, you're looking at it, wow, this is a little bit different challenge. So I've always kind of looked at it that way.
Do you make any early predictions? Do your guys get around to having fun with that?
No, you really don't. I don't want to create expectations other than the fact that we expect, our intent is to go out and play to win, and we expect to win.
It starts with the rookies coming in here, rookie minicamp going on this weekend. What are you hoping to get out of this weekend? What are you looking for to see from the guys with their first time here?
Unfortunately, with the way things are mapped out now, because we're still in the COVID and we still have protocols that we've got to adhere to, it's really not like a true mini camp. You're not going to be able to have any real competitive situations like you normally would. So what we're really looking to do is look at these guys individually, and assess where they are with their skill sets. What do we have to work on with Jamin to help develop him? What about Cosby? What do we have to do for Cos to help him get better as we go through this? And same thing with St. Juice, the same thing with Brown. What can we do to help improve our players and have them work on as we go through this mini camp with them and our OTAs and then the veteran mini camp?
Most all evaluations have pretty much been on tape because we are still in COVID. How long does it kind of take you once you see them in person to really say, or to get a better evaluation of where they are at?
I would say hopefully by the 3rd practice, we'll have a feel for what a guy does and does well and what a guy needs to improve on. We will pay attention to it. We'll try to spend a lot of time with them, the rookies, because we're allowed to. So we'll try to really take advantage of that.
And then what about finally, I guess, getting to talk to some of the guys in person? I mean, this is cool, Coach. I don't mind talking to you over Zoom, but it's a totally different experience when you're live in person with somebody. You can read their body language. You have a totally different interaction, minus being in front of a computer screen. Do you look forward to kind of getting to know the guys on a different level this way?
I do. I really do, Julie. I mean, it's like getting the opportunity to, talk with you in person, like you said. You can read my body language. You can read there's certain things that I do like and don't like. And the same thing for me. It gives me an opportunity to really see where a player is, what his focus is, what kind of gets him going. So I do look forward to the opportunity. I mean, that's the really neat thing about once we get past the rookie camp starting next Monday is the first time we get to get on the field with our guys. We're in phase 2. It's an opportunity for us to do the walkthroughs and start installing. And then the following week on the 24th, we actually get to practice. So that's the exciting and fun part. And hopefully to give an opportunity, as the vaccinations continue to come about, we'll hopefully get an opportunity to have you guys out there and have you guys in person, because it's, like I said, it helps. I really do. I think there's an excitement about being around everybody.
What's it like that first time you finally get back around all your coaching staff?
Oh, it was cool. It's always good to, to be able to see everybody. I mean, I remember last year, obviously, doing everything by Zoom and not getting to see everybody until July. And that was hard. But now, because I think the majority of our coaches are vaccinated, we have a couple more that still have to take their 2nd shot. But once we got everybody vaccinated, it'll be good, because when we're together, because of the vaccinations, by protocols, we'll be able to take our masks down.
All right, looking forward to that and to when we can finally get past all these computers and in person. So until then, we are making sure everybody is safe. Rookie minicamp going on, schedule release out. We know how it's going to fall in the fall. So, Coach, thanks for joining us. Appreciate chatting with you.
Cool. Thank you, Julie.